Hi everyone and welcome. So I wanted to come here live today to share about the internet and especially social media and the contrast and the diversity of information that we find. So I don't know if all of you have noticed this, but whatever it is that you search for online, whether on the internet or on social media, you find proof and also disproof of that perspective. So it doesn't matter if you're trying to find one thing or the other, you will find proof of both of them. So it's important that we realize that the internet and social media is like a pure representation of the collective unconscious. It's where we dump all the information and all our perspectives and all our beliefs, and it's also where we consume it. So it's important for each one of us in our individuality to see from a higher perspective all the perspectives that exist, but also ground down to see individually what resonates. And what resonates for us can even change from moment to moment. So it's important that we know ourselves enough in our individuality, but also that we see from a higher perspective all that's happening on earth. Because with so much contrast, with so much polarity, with so much duality, what is going on is that we are integrating and bringing up all these different perspectives, all these different ways of being, of believing. And again, we're not all supposed to be the same, because that's literally what the earth is. Earth is like this planet where there is contrast and duality and diversity. So there will always be people who are different from others. That's what makes Earth and life so interesting and exciting and juicy and fruitful. It's because there is so much abundance of diversity. So it's okay and normal and necessary that people think in different ways. It's okay that some people believe this and other people believe that. Some people will see things from this perspective and some other people will see from another perspective. And it's all okay. It's all parts of the game. And as a collective, we talk about things like we are ascending, like the human resonance is whatever. Like we talk about all these things that are happening on earth, that more people are becoming aware and awake of themselves and of life. All of these things are happening at the same time, and we are gathering and like molding and playing with all these different perspectives. There's so much abundance of diversity. And so with this being said, and especially for people who are considered empaths or highly in tune or awake or whatever, it's important that we honor and see things from a higher perspective, where we honor all the different perspectives and all the contrasts, but it's also important that we ground down into our individuality and that we figure out what resonates for us. And what resonates for us might change from moment to moment. In certain periods of our lives, we might resonate with certain perspectives. We might have certain beliefs. We might have certain mindsets. And in a different phase of our lives, we might have a different experience. And that's totally okay and normal. And because of that, it's important that we tune in to ourselves again in our individuality to figure out what resonates for us in each moment. And yes, there will be also like the conversations where things like heat up and like a lot of contrast is going on. Those are also necessary, Because again, we are all learning and evolving, and humanity is really evolving and changing and shifting in ways that have never happened before, right? Like with technology, with the frequency of the earth, and with our consciousness, like with all this information being shared, with all these perspectives and all this diversity, there's a lot going on. And so it's important that we stay in our lane, meaning that we know what resonates for us in this moment, because again, it can change. And that we don't judge other perspectives so much, but even the judgment of other perspectives is also part of it, and it's also okay. I know this is like getting very paradoxical and very multi-dimensional and very all of that, but I want to maybe ground it down again by saying things like this. Whatever it is that you believe in, you will be judged for. Whatever it is that you believe in, there will be people who agree with you, and there will be people who totally disagree. And that's totally fine, and that's totally okay, and that's literally just life. That's what life is about. It's this contrast, it's this abundance of diversity. And it's you and me and each one of us figuring out what resonates for us in each moment. So, again, I want to bring this, again, to ground this into do whatever it is that you want. Eat whatever you want, call yourself whatever you want, do whatever you want, believe whatever you want. Live life on your own terms, because that's what we are here to do and to experience. We are meant to have different experiences. We are not supposed to be the same. We are not all supposed to eat in the same way and believe the same things. We are supposed to enjoy the contrasts of life on earth, and how exciting it is to figure ourselves out along the way, and to figure out what we like and what we don't like, what we agree with and what we disagree with, and to see that also change throughout our lives. And we find different people who agree with us and who disagree, and how beautiful is that? Now we can take this in the perspective, so imagine like governments or stuff like that. These are infrastructures and groups of people that need to deal with all this contrast and duality and polarity and diversity, and make choices, which sometimes are good, sometimes are not so good. Sometimes people agree with them, sometimes people disagree with them. And that's just life again. But again, bringing it back to the individual and to each one of us in our unique journeys. What resonates for you? Again, bringing it back to social media. On social media, you will see so many people saying that they went vegan, for example. And so many people saying that they went carnivore. Like there's so much contrast, so much contrast. And I just use that as an example because it's kind of a good one, but there are so many of them, right? There's so many of these examples. So what is it that resonates for you? And can you hold yourself while you consume information that shares a perspective that is different from yours, right? Because sometimes we are energetically and mentally too open, meaning that each one of us is now used to like just scrolling on social media, just scrolling on Instagram, watching television or watching YouTube videos or watching whatever it is. And it's important that we stay in our lane where different information comes into our phones, into our fields, into our awareness. Because if we are just too open, and again, energetically and mentally, whatever piece of information that shows up, we kind of take that in, and sometimes we don't know how to, like, we might lose ourselves a little in that, because we are consuming so much different information, not just different, but different, like, polarized information. It can be tricky, right? And like, especially for people who I believe and have seen that are my audience, the people like you who is watching, people who are conscious, people who are awake. We are energetically very sensitive and very open. And so imagine that you are like, you're just yourself, and you see like this thing that says you need more rest, like resting is so important. It's so important to be in our comfort zones and to relax and to enjoy life. And then you, like 1 second after you watch that video, another video shows up where it's like, get out of the couch and do something with your life, and you need to do the thing even if you don't feel like it, and blah blah blah. And like, there's so much contrast of the videos we search, even if the algorithm shares like the things that we already search for, right? Even then, there is so much contrast. And it's so important that we are fully connected with our bodies, with our individuality, and with our intuition. So when I read or watch something that doesn't resonate, doesn't mean that it's not true for someone else. It means that in this moment in my life, that specific perspective is not helpful for me. It might be helpful for someone else, but not for me. That's not the lesson I am learning right now. Right now, I'm learning this other lesson. And so it's important, as we consume information on social media and on the internet, that we truly see where we are in our lives, and if this piece of information does resonate or doesn't, if it is helpful or if it isn't. It's important that we have discernment and individuality and intuition, so that we can navigate the collective unconscious with all the perspectives that are poured in, that are just poured on the internet and on social media, and so that we connect only with those informations, those videos, those messages that are helpful, that resonate for us in this moment. Because otherwise we can get very confused very fast. So please, whatever it is that you are feeling, that are the lessons that you are learning in life right now, listen to that. And don't listen to anyone else who is saying otherwise. Just focus on yourself. Focus on what you need, and see what information you are finding that is resonant with what you need to hear and learn right now. Also have the discernment also to know if the information you're consuming is actually resonating in a helpful and expansive and good way, or in a way where you're just self-sabotaging or staying even more stuck or being a victim or whatever it is. Again, it's very important that we have discernment and individuality and intuition. So my dears, this is what I want to share with you today. I trust that, again, each one of you will receive this information and will take from it exactly what it is that resonates for you, and exactly what it is that you need in this moment, and that you leave out all the rest. So again, even with what I'm sharing, if there's something that doesn't resonate, don't take it in. Let it be. Leave it be. Leave it for me. And only take what resonates for you. And I want to wrap this up with collective compassion and individual compassion. for each one of us to have compassion for humanity as a collective, because we are all going through so much. We are all going through so much. And that we have the compassion to hold space for all the different perspectives and all the different experiences that we are all having. And also that we find that compassion for our individual human self, that is an individual, that is an ego, that is having a unique journey. And that we also have compassion for our own journeys. Holding this compassion for all of us as a collective. And also, and sometimes, for a lot of people, this is what we need the most. To hold that compassion for ourselves. And to hold that compassion for ourselves when we change from one perspective to another. To hold ourselves in compassion no matter what. Today this conversation was a little bit, whatever it was, like not like super clear and direct and focused and like easy to grasp. But again, I trust that you will receive what you need from this transmission, from this sharing, and that you take what resonates and leave the rest. And I also want to invite each one of us, because again, we're not all supposed to be doing this, but for those of you who resonate, please share yourself and share your perspective and play your part in the game of life. And yes, there will be people who judge you, no matter what. Again, using the subject of food, there will be people judging you if you are a vegan, and there will be people judging you if you are a carnivore. No matter what you choose, you will be judged. So you might just do whatever it is that resonates for you and love yourself in that. And let yourself be loved in that. And also let yourself be judged in that. But it's important that we find what resonates for us, that we honor that, and that we share that we share ourselves, and that we share our truth, and that we share our experience. And again, having compassion, because we are all human, and we are all individuals. So we will be different from each other, and that's okay. And that's beautiful. And that's literally life. So my prayer for me, for you, for us, is that we find what resonates, and that we find each other, and that we can hold ourselves and each other in love, even if our perspectives are different. That we have respect and compassion, but also that we have discernment and individuality and intuition to dare to be different, if that is what resonates. Yeah, that's what I wanted to share today. Thank you for being here, and thank you for being you exactly as you are. Exactly as you are. And if you trigger people, that's beautiful. And if you are triggered by people, that's beautiful. And if you judge people, that's beautiful. And if you are judged by people, that's beautiful. That's just life. So please take up space and be yourself, because one way or another you will be judged. And who do you want to be? And how do you want to experience this thing called life? This thing that is you. How do you want to experience yourself? So with so much love, and so much compassion. I send you love. I send you love, and I hope that you dare to be yourself, even if not everyone agrees with you all the time. And other people's projections and judgments and limitations, return those to the sender. Leave that with them. Focus on you. And again, this is how you find the others that are resonating in a similar frequency, which will also have differences. And that's, again, the beauty of diversity, of being a human on earth. Thank you, everyone. With so much love and so much compassion, I celebrate you for your uniqueness and for you being your freaking unique self, beautifully, perfectly, just as you are. Changing and growing and learning and evolving and changing your mind, because that's what it means to be human. That's what it means to be human. So I celebrate the human in you, and I celebrate our differences and our similarities. This is what life is about me being me and figuring myself out, changing and growing and evolving, and you figuring yourself out. And if we are different, and if we trigger each other, and if we disagree, that's fucking beautiful, because that's what it means to be human. That's just life. So I honor you and I celebrate you exactly as you are, even if you trigger me, even if I disagree. I embrace the contrast and the individuality and the diversity of all of us. And I find my own unique signature that is forever changing and evolving as well. And I celebrate yours. So my dear, with so much love, so much compassion, so much love, I hope you can feel me, because I can feel you too. Bless all of us exactly as we are. And may we find our uniqueness and live it in more boldness, in more fun and joy and celebration of our individuality. And let others be as they are. And let ourselves be as we are. And enjoy it all. Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon again. Bless you, bless you, bless you.